Well, hello and welcome back, everybody. Today is day one. We have a funded account. Um, I got my notification I'll bring that up here. Got my notification from Apex last night, and here's what that looks like. My little certificate from good old Daryl Martin. Uh, by On a little side note, I took his Daryl Martin's. They had this trading program where you could get on, and I worked with that program for like 8 months, and it was pretty garbage. It was like Apex trading, and it's not good. They just had some weird stuff going on in it, and I did not care for it at all, and it cost me quite a bit of money. But that being said, we now have a 25K rhythmic account. I paid for the lifetime membership because I don't want to do. Oh, that's can see that. It's my head. So let's bring it back. Let's move my fat head out of the way. So here we go. You guys can see um, it was presented to me. That's me, Dominic. And we've got 25K funded account. Um, and this is from Daryl Martin. So the way they do it, so I did a lifetime membership program for it. And a 25K account, you can do $85 for a monthly charge for the funded account. Then you just have to keep paying that every month while you have a funded account going. Or you can pay 125 and just have a lifetime uh, payments. You don't have to keep making payments on it. To me, that's a no-brainer. Um, if you got into this program thinking that you might not make it through a month, then you're not doing it the right way. You need to have the confidence to make that payment and be prepared for the long haul of this account. Now, I'm actually tempted to start up another account because they actually have a 90% sale going on right now. So that's kind of in the back of my brain because I know for like $10 I could get another account going and I could be working on trying to fund a second account while I'm trying to get my first payout. And it's definitely in the back of my brain that it would be nice. But at the same time, I have limited funds right now because extenuating circumstances with work and schoolwork and kids and just life. So it was actually quite a big investment for me to pay the 125 right now. And I'm not taking this lightly. And one of the things that kind of did change my trading, and this is something I learned from a trader. Let me see if I can look up his name. I went ahead and hold on a second. Let's bring up his name. He's a YouTube trader. His name is Roderick Cassili. He does some YouTube content, and he promotes. I think it's Prop Shop Trader, and I think it was him. It could have been somebody else, but I think it was him that mentioned that if you're failing over and over, it could be because you're not taking it seriously. And that's one of the things that kind of started sticking in my head because I started recognizing that I would do good for a while. I would follow my rules, and then I would just throw caution to the wind and take big losses. And to me, that was me recognizing that wasn't taking my trading seriously. So that's something you should keep in mind. I mean, this isn't a game. And if it is a game, then just expect to lose money, you know? And it's not gambling. And if it is gambling to you, then just expect to lose money. Because what this really is, it is gambling in a sense like that um, poker is gambling, right? Uh, Meaning that if you can read your opponents, you will be successful, right? So keep that in mind, right? This has that same kind of a context to it because if you feel like you're in control of the situation that's happening around you and you have confidence in your control, you will make money, right? But if you lack that confidence or you're unsure, you're bound to not be able to walk away with a winning day or a winning trade. Um, because it comes down to the old adage that scared money won't make money. And that's the reality in trading, particularly. If you're afraid when you get into a trade, you shouldn't be in that trade. That's the plain truth of it. If if you don't look at a trade and recognize that this is a good opportunity to make money and you really like what you're looking at, then you shouldn't be in that trade. If you're looking at a trade going, maybe it'll go this way, don't take the trade. Because what I found is with enough patience, if you just sit and be patient, a good setup will come. And I know it's hard, but a good setup will come. For me, one of the things that helped me a lot is I can now look at the market and go, there's just nothing going on here for me. And then it's so freeing and relaxing to be able to look at the market and go, yeah, there's no trade here for me. I guess what? You have nothing to worry about. You just wait because a trade will show up. And when it does, you can go, oh man, there's a trade. And when you do that, that's when you take your trades. So let's jump into the market. I'm going to show you guys the trades I took today and the trade I missed. And this one was really annoying to me. So I just funded my account this morning, right around this time, right in here. So I got okay from the boss to fund my account. I got my account funded and look at this garbage. This is what it was doing, guys. Actually, I think it was here. No, I had just made this new high. So it was just kind of doing this consolidation. Oh, let me get over it. You guys can see. It was just doing this kind of consolidation garbage here. And this is where I funded my account this morning. So I'm looking at this and I'm kind of looking back over the day and I'm seeing some nice motion. So this here is these lines here represent previous day highs. Okay, so this is the high from the previous day. And the reason I have that on the chart is because the market tends to react to the same location. So this is like high of the entire day the day before. So you keep that in mind. So this is a significant point. In reality, when markets get to these locations, they do make moves. So keep that in mind. I mean, you don't want to ignore these. You need to have stuff like this on your chart. And for me, I don't trade off of these, although you could, right? But it's just not part of my system. But I use them to recognize whether or not I should be taking a trade. Okay. So then we have this kind of meandering garbage, and I'm just ignoring it. Like this isn't anything to me. I'm ignoring it. Get this move, we get down, back down to the slow, and I'm ignoring it. And then we get this move. we get a push, right? So now I'm kind of getting interested. I like the markets now finally moving, right? And then it pushes through the previous day high. Now that's a big deal. It got through that. It got up to it, it hesitated, and then it broke through it. So for me, I'm like, I like that. And then it stayed up here, right? It didn't automatically reject. It didn't come back down here. It stayed. So I'm like, okay, that seems like accepting that move. Then it comes down, and look at this. You get this beautiful shooting star kind of a pattern here, right? Come down, and you get this beautiful, and I saw this, and I'm like, oh, that's a trade, guys. Like I'm down, I come into this, I'm looking there, and I go to drop my cell up here, and what happened was my computer didn't accept my cell, right? Usually you drop in your cell. I'll change it to sim so I can do this without screwing it up. So usually you drop in your cell here, right? And I'm in sim.
Order submitted.
And it goes to blue like this.
Order filled.
I'm in sim. Um, I didn't know it was up that high. Look how good I'm doing. I should have just, no, it's $100.
Order filled.
So I just made $100 in sim. I didn't even know the market was up. But anyway, what happened to me is that when I dropped it, it stayed yellow and then it wouldn't let me move it. And so look at this move. Bam, it just shot right through it, guys. If I would have, that was my first trade I was trying to get into. I dropped my buy up here and it was just yellow. It wouldn't even confirm into a trade. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just missed my first move on my first funded account that I had seen. I was ready to take the trade and I missed it. And what's worse is that it was stuck on this yellow trade marker and I couldn't get out. I couldn't close it. It wouldn't let me cancel it, wouldn't let me close it. I ended up resetting uh, Ninja Trader to try and get back in here. So then I get back in here and it's doing this stuff. And so I'm like, okay. Um, oh, okay. Um, get back to my funded account. Okay, so then it's doing this stuff. And I said, okay, I like this because what we have here is you have a big push, right? And for me, this is looking like a micro pullback resumption push. And so it made a high here and it's pulling back and I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a trade. So if it breaks basically this right here, I was looking for it to break this red, but at the same time, I didn't want to take a lot of heat. So what I did is I dropped my stop location marker here, and then I pulled up a buy order, and I dropped it here, waiting for it to pull back into my buy order. And that's what it did. It comes back, hits my buy order on this. This is, I think I got into it on this one. Yeah, unless you got into on this one. So what red came back, hit my buy order. Look, guys, I just took like a tiny little bit of heat on this. And then it started going my way. And it went way high. But I just waited, and as soon as it got to that's what happened. I forgot. What happened is my ATM strategy is shut off. So I had to, I got into this with no stops. So I just waited for it to get up here and then I just closed it, unfortunately, because if I had my stop and click in place, this may have gone to my target for 250 right away. So at any rate, then what I did is I'm like, well, that was a good trade. I got $100 there. Let's just relax. Let's see what happens. And it's coming back down. And I look at this beautiful setup here. So we make a new high. We're coming down into support. I'm like, this is gorgeous. I love this. Look at this. We get a nice doji candle there. So we got this red, 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 green right on support. This is my favorite setup here. And then I'm waiting for the trade. Bam, went in, hit my target. or it didn't hit my target, but it went high enough for me to get in there. And matter of fact, I was zoomed in a bit here, so you can see, look how far above my stop location I got for this one. I dropped it as soon as it got above this line, and then I just kept following it up. And so I actually got some extra ticks on that one. Um, then this is basically a double top. I wouldn't take another trade off of that. But at any rate, that was it. Those my two trades for the day. This is a ghost trade. I don't know why I keep showing you shit like that, but so I actually only took two trades. Took this trade for here, and then this trade to here. And we're up 250 for the day. Let's pull that up. That's for the day. There's my $65 trade that I just did live on screen. See what that trade was. Is that trade? For some reason, I got into a trade there. But at any rate, that's good, man. We did really good. We had a good solid day for starting with a funded account. So that's my first funded account day. We're looking for much more of those. And the while I'm here, let's talk for a minute. I'm not going to be looking at these markets anymore. So let's talk for a second. So I did a little research, and you got to keep in mind when you have a funded account, there's limitations that are in place before you can get a payout. So, especially for your first three payouts. So if you're new to funded accounts like I am, like I've never gotten a payout before, you have to keep that in mind. And some of the limitations, according to what I read, and I can read that from let's go and do that. This can be important to document. So I'm going to bring up what the limitations are. Bear with me whenever I'm using internet and streaming, and there's a bunch of stuff going on in the background here. My computer's chugging. Okay. Bear with me. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it. Try not to box myself. Well, let's see. Let's just bring this over. We can look at this together, guys. Let me move my head out of the way again. Um, so there's certain amounts that you have to keep in in place when you're looking for a payout from Apex. Okay. Um, it says consistency rules. Let's look at this. Okay. All right. So In a performance account, the trailing drawdown starts at the liquidation threshold. Okay, so let's break this down. And what this means, there's certain things. The nice thing is that I already follow all of these anyway. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty and what that. Let's see. I wish I had this already added out. It's the safety net requirement. This is the one. What it comes down to is you have to trade a total of 8 days. This is what I'm gathering from it. You have to trade a total of 8 days. And in those 8 days, you must have at least 5 days that you made over $50 during the day. The only thing that has to also be taken into consideration is that you can't have a single day where you make more than 30% of your overall balance of profit. So you can't have like basically it's trying to keep you from trading like a news event and then taking a big payout on a news event because those are considered volatile. So I'm not going to do any of these. I'm talking about flipping trades. Yeah, they just don't want you to gamble, which isn't what I do. They'd say the mass risk reward is a 5 to 1, so you can't. If you're risking your target for 10 ticks, your stop shouldn't exceed 50 ticks. So that's not an issue for me because I'm basically at a 1 to 1. And actually, I'm at a 1 to 2. So I'm actually doing better than that. And then, okay, so then the safety net, let's talk about that. So the safety net, what that talks about is basically before you can take your first trade, and I think I jumped past it. Let's jump back to it. The safety net requirement must be observed for the first 3 approved payouts of a PA account. As of the fourth payment, the safety net requirement is no longer applicable. Safety net is defined as the amount equivalent to the drawdown based on the account size plus an additional $100. So for me, my drawdown is 1,500. My additional 100 would be 1,600. So I need to get to 26,600 to be eligible to take my first pay. At that point, the minimum amount you can request is $500. So you can request a payout of $500 once you get to 26,600. But what that does is it gives you a drawdown of $500. So um, see how that works now. So the way they describe it was 52,600 trader can request 500, but it leaves a balance of 52,100, which is acceptable even though it encroaches on the safety net by the 500 allowed, which means that now your total drawdown would be $2,000 on a $50,000 account. For me, if I took a $500 payout at 26,600, my drawdown would then only be $1,000 on that account. And if I exceed that $1,000 drawdown, then I blow that account. You can request a higher amount, but you have to exceed that amount by that additional amount. So if you had, for me, if I wanted to request like $1,000, I need to make an extra $1,000. And then the payouts only happen on, I believe, So you apply for a payout, they take up to 5 days. And I think you can only apply for payouts on like the beginning of the month. There's 2 times in the month when you can apply for a payout. So you can apply for it at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month, basically, or middle of the month. So you get it, and it's like I think it's the 5th and then the 15th or something like that. So I'm not going to be able to apply for a payment until the 1st of June. That's what we're looking at here. But I am getting ahead of myself a little bit, but it's good to know these rules. And then, of course, you have to set up a way to get money from them. But anyway, so that's where we're at, guys. We're going to keep going. We're up to 50. We're doing good. And I'm going to toy with the idea of maybe throwing in an extra PA account on top of this so we can start working on our next funded account. But that's where we're at. Thanks for joining me, guys. And we're going to keep doing these journals because they apparently